No, I'm serious.
Well,
I'd like to call this January the 6th meeting to order. Want to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna stand. Yeah, I'm not gonna stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible for all. Where's Sharon? Okay, there she is. At this time, we administrate the oath for the new elected board members.
Mr. Akins first, and the mayor.
Yeah,
The mayor here?
Mr. Akins,
We don't see the mayor?
The mayor, yeah.
pardon me? Okay, the mayor's not here.
Would you like to move on to Danielle?
Yes,
Mrs. Birch?
Ms. Birch.
Would you like to announce who's representing her? Her mother? You see it?
Huh? So what?
It's her mother.
All right. Huh?
Okay?
So then you can see their names, who's doing it. So you can announce that she's been administered on the
Okay.
Would you like to announce
Just
it?
tell her.
Okay.
And Judge Turner will be administrating?
Yes.
Right. Okay. You have the, they have the papers.
It is truly an honor and a privilege to be here this evening. When I think about we moved to this district in 1979, Danielle was born in Bedford Heights and raised in Walton Hills. And to come here tonight, it is truly such an honor. It really and truly is. And it's such a very special moment. Danielle, would you place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand? I, Danielle Turner Birch, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Bedford School District, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, to the best of my ability, in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during my continuance in said office and until my successor is elected and qualified. I present to you your new board member, my daughter, Danielle Turner.
Is the mayor here? Huh? Is the mayor here?
He's not here, but our council He was the council president to do it.
So what?
The council president of the
Council
board.
president wants to do it? Oh, okay. Johnny?
Mr. Warren?
Yeah.
Mr. Warren?
Do you have the authority?
I did, yeah.
Yes.
Is he here?
Yeah.
I have Mr. Warren. Mr. Warren, yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? Here, you might as well give him
Mr. Warren? Mr. Akins?
Mr. Warren, we have it for you. Oh, hello, greetings.
He
How
needs,
are you? Nice to see
he
you.
needs a sheet.
I'm sorry. You know what? Okay. Yeah, can we use,
Danielle, can we use your Bible?
thank you.
Okay. Put your right hand on it. Please
left-
repeat after me.
Put your left hand,
Your left hand on the Bible
right hand up.
and the right hand up.
I, Anthony A. Akins,
Anthony A. Akins,
do solemnly affirm
do solemnly affirm
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
and I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties
as a member of the Board of Education
as a member of the Board of Education
of the Bedford City Schools District
of the Bedford City Schools District
in Bedford, Cuyahoga County, Ohio,
in Bedford
to my abilities.
to the best of my ability.
And in accordance with the laws now in effect,
In accordance with the laws now in effect,
be enacted
and hereafter to be enacted
during my continuance in said office
during my continuance in said office,
and until my successor is chosen and qualified.
and my successor is chosen and qualified.
Okay. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, Miss Macklin?
Raise your right hand. Family ready? Okay. So one other person. Please repeat after me. One more. Yeah. I, Sharon Macklin, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge my duties as a member of the Board of Education of the Bedford City School District in Bedford, Cuyahoga County, Ohio, to the best of my abilities, and in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during my continuance in said office and until my successor is chosen and you are now.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Akins? Present. Mrs. Birch? Mrs. Boynton? And Mrs. Patterson?
At this time, we'll nominate for the office of president for the Board of Education.
I would like to nominate Ms. Eva Boynton.
I second the nomination. Roll call.
Roll call. Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin? Mrs. Patterson?
Yes. Vice President of the Board of Education.
I would like Danielle Birch.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Akins? Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin? And Mrs. Patterson?
Yes. Okay. Need to take the oath. You have to come up here.
Am I coming here?
Come up there.
Mrs. Boynton, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of office of President of the Board of Education of the Bedford City School District to the best of your ability and thereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until a successor is elected and qualified? Congratulations.
Ms. Birch.
Mrs. Birch, do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, and that you will faithfully and impartially perform the duties of your office of Vice President of the Board of Education to the best of your ability in accordance with the laws now in effect and hereafter to be enacted during your continuance in said office and until a successor is elected and qualified? Congratulations.
At this time, we need to change seats.
Yeah, I'm just gonna change your name, please, so just stay there.
Okay.
You're fine, you stay right there.
Okay.
is item
2.06.
2.0. Wonderful outgoing president, Ms. Patterson.
Thank you, Mrs. Boynton. First off, I'd like to congratulate our newly elected board members. So congratulations and welcome. And to the Birch and Mrs. Boynton, congratulations and look forward to working with you. And at this time, I would like to thank her for her time, not only on the board, but for assuming the position of these Mrs. Patterson, but it's probably several. And I don't know, how many years is this for you on the board?
20.
20, it is 20, okay, I wasn't quite sure. So congratulations on that, and thank you.
We need to recognize the,
Did you get a picture?
I'm just going to get a picture of presenting it to you, okay?
Thank you, Dr. Selico.
Thank you.
I would just like to say at this time that it's an honor to be nominated for president, and I promise that I will do my best to serve, number one, our children, to work with our superintendent, and to serve our community and our families of this great district. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I also would like to thank Ms. Patterson. You've been an excellent president. I've been on the board for 2 years, and you have been a great leader, and I will certainly remember some of the great things that you. I would also like to recognize the board members, our outgoing board members that are present today, and that is Mr. Stevens. Would you please stand? And also another one of our former board members, Mr. Mesnick. Would you please? And I would also like to welcome the incoming board members. You have big shoes to fill. Working with everyone. At this time, we are going into executive session. I promise we'll make it as short as items that the incoming board members will have to vote on very, very soon. And it is item to go into executive session, please.
So moved.
You went
A
after
motion to enter into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee.
Can I have a second, please? It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Ms. Macklin. Please.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin? Yes. Mrs. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes. Thank you. It's been approved 5-0. 6:21, we will be going into executive session, and we will be returning shortly. Thank you. Excuse me, everyone. Okay, nobody's listening. Nobody's listening to me. Thank you. I would like to have a motion, board, to come out of executive session.
Motion made to come out of executive session.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Mr. Akins. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes. Okay, everybody, thank you for your patience. We tried to wrap that up pretty quickly. And we're going to deviate just a little bit from the agenda, and we're going to hear from Mayor Gacho. Mr. Gacho, please.
Job. I just wish that, again, that during your tenure, your actions will be answerable to God. And have a very, very healthy new year. With that, we're wishing.
Thank you, Mayor Gacho. We are going to move on to item 4.01, where the board will approve the dates and time and place of our meetings for this year. So if I could have a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second, please.
Second.
Motion was made by Ms. Akins, and it was seconded by Ms. Birch. Roll call, please.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes. Motion passed 4-0. Oh, and I want to say Ms. Patterson had to leave, so there's just the four of us now. Let's look at item 4.02, and those are our appointments for the board members. And so, board, I will just read, excuse me, the items and accept those positions, please. A is Legislative Liaison to the Ohio School Boards Association.
I'll accept that position.
All right. Student Achievement Liaison to OSBA. Okay. Ohio School Boards Association Annual Conference Delegate. So I can sign on that one. And we need an alternate, please. Ms. Birch. And the last one is Bedford City Schools Foundation.
I'll take that one.
And
I'll go with that one.
so it'll be Mr. Akins and Ms. Macklin. Thank you. Now we'll move on to item 4.03. It's our resolution for 2022-23 school year through 2022-30. Oops. Could I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to accept the resolutions.
Could you read the entire line? I don't. Okay, to accept the resolution to appoint the former liaison. Okay. Could I have a second, please?
I second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Ms. Macklin. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Boynton?
Yes. Motion passed 4-0. Next item on the agenda is 4.04, Letter of Understanding. Please.
Motion to approve.
I second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch. I'm sorry, is there any discussion on any of these items? I'm sorry. I'm still learning. Still learning. This is my first rodeo here. Is there any discussion on this item? No. Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Pass 4-0. Our next item is 5.01, awarding of the diploma.
Thank you, Mrs. Boynton. Mr. Thompson, is Mr. Thompson here? There he is. Did our student come this evening? No? Okay. So if I could, Board, I'm still going to ask Mr. Thompson to come to the podium and read so we can properly award a graduate this evening, and that is Eric Alexander Kirkpatrick, who I believe was supposed to graduate in 2016 and has really persevered and finished his requirements, and so as a result, we would like to honor him with his diploma. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
You're welcome. Thank you, Dr. Selico. Board President Boynton and Superintendent Selico. The student receiving a Bedford High School diploma tonight has completed the course of study prescribed by the Board of Education for the Bedford High School, classed as first grade and accredited, and is therefore awarded this diploma given from Bedford, Ohio on the 6th day of January 2022. Now the class of 2021, Eric Alexander Kirkpatrick.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson, and we would like to extend our I'm sorry he's not here, but we would now go into audience participation. And we do have one card. Sorry, I didn't pass it down. And it is from Ms. Juanita Brent, and accommodations from the state of Ohio. Ms. Brent, would you please come forward? If you would just state your name and address, please.
Juanita Brent, 16804 Glendale Avenue. Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, I am Juanita Brent. I just happen to be everyone in here's state representative, and I am just so glad to be home in district to celebrate this occasion. For our new members of the school board right now that I'm going to be presenting them. So it is with great pleasure that I, Juanita, Ohio House District 12, extends my congratulations to school board member Turner Birch, Atkins, and Macklin for your election to the Bedford School Board. Demonstrated exceptional work ethic and dedication to civic duty, of which you can be proud. To earn the trust and support of your constituents is no easy task. Your impressive elections to the Bedford School Board. You are to be commended for your achievements, justifiable source of pride, and demonstrate the excellence of those who reside in our wonderful House District. Let your excellence serve with great pride and satisfaction. We honor you with your hard work and dedication and look forward to working with you. We are honored to have you represent the best of Ohio House District 12. Just some personal words up real quick. I've just had the wonderful honor of working with school board member Atkins and Turner Birch before they even got here on the school board, and I'm just so glad to see both you guys elected and serving the people. Unfortunately, because of redistricting, we are doing a countdown of how long Bedford and Bedford Heights will be, Bedford School will be included in my school house district. So you guys are, I like to call this my last hoorah as a state representative as I move on to the new area. Beechwood, Cleveland, East Cleveland, some other cities too. So if you guys have been keeping up with the state, every 10 years we do redistricting. So my house district is looking to leave you guys without making sure I acknowledge this wonderful occasion. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bryant. We will certainly miss you. I remember my very first, when I was sworn in and you were here, you've been so supportive, so thank you so much. We will miss you.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 01. Can I have a motion, please?
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Can I have a second, please? Could I have a second, please?
Second?
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Mr. Aiken. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes. Oh, yeah, hold on. Pass 4-0. Thank you so much, appreciate it. All right, next thing on the agenda, resolution to employ substitute teachers.
Thank you, Mrs. Boynton. I have two items for your consideration this evening, one in which I will ask for a vote, and that is 8.01, and then 8.02. May just take 8.01 teachers, and in this, there is a law enacted in requirement for substitute teachers to have a degree, a bachelor's degree. And the situation in which we are faced trying the shortage of substitute teachers that are out there. So this would allow us to have the opportunity to hire those without proper licenses, if you will, degrees, but they would get a substitute license through the state of Ohio. This is not something that is going to be done first and foremost, but it would be something that we at least have passed, that we have the authority to do it in the event that there's an emergency situation, that we would hire people without degrees. Again, looking for, as we always do, for the best people that we can put in front of our children and provide them the supports that they need. So with that, I ask for your support on that, and then I'll pause there. Thank you.
All right. Please, for 8.01.
A motion to approve employment of substitute teachers.
A second, please.
I second.
It has been moved by Ms. Birch and second by Ms. Macklin. Any discussion on this?
No.
Yes.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes. Motion approved, 4-0.
Thank you, Mrs. Boynton. The second item is 8.0. Intent is related to the opportunity that we have to potentially put a sports complex into our district. We have been working with an organization that has some donors they believe that will provide funding for this program, which would mean no funding required by us. And it would be, we are looking at putting it on our high school property. And the property, the facility would be able to be used by community members as well. And so it would be a partnership. And so as a result, in order to move forward, we do need to talk about this letter of intent. And I'm going to ask Mr. Meyer to come to the podium if he could give us a few more details, and certainly a time for you to ask any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Dr. Selico, members of the board. So yes, this is a very exciting opportunity that we have. We've been fortunate to be able to work with Thomas Katuski and Otto Orff from Hands On Sports in developing what is a letter of intent to lease property from the high school to them for the purposes of creating an indoor sports complex. And one of the things they would point out that it's not just indoor sports complex, but indoor sports and learning complex, where they to have two different sports played there primarily, but options for more. So the two primary sports that they were looking at was tennis and a sport called football kind of like, I would call it the arena version of soccer. So you're playing soccer in a gymnasium, tennis court size area. And it was kind of a new, but they are having a major tournament in mid-January at the Goodyear facility in Akron. So it's coming up here in a couple of weeks, and I know they are excited to see this so that they can start asking those folks who are coming to their events to donate, and so they can use it for the purpose of fundraising. So what this letter of intent is this is our bare minimum requirements that we are setting forth that we want to make sure that they would be considering if we are to enter a lease in the future. Specifying what our terms would be if we were to move forward with the lease. So that, as you can read in that lease, in that letter of intent, is it's a minimum of 10 years. The rate, rental rate would be a reasonable percentage of revenue. There would be no obligation to the taxpayer. And we would have a provision in there so that we could have school district use of the facility after it was built. So with that, if you have any questions, the next step is to present this to Hands On Sports so that they can take a look at it and they can start using it.
Thank you, James. You have any questions?
Yeah,
Or
so those are
discussion?
the only two sports. Will there be other sports that will be able to occupy the space?
Yes, so the indoor facility would be modular, so volleyball, any of the athletics that would fit in such a space. I think I could ask them for more details, but it wouldn't be limited to just those two sports. But they would be operating lessons for those two sports out of that facility.
Will they be able to provide some more information as to these other sports and also more information about these particular, like the futsal?
Yes, if you're able to, and I can provide the information that they've given me. The proposal that they have is attached to the PDF that is in the board agenda.
Thank you.
One more thing to point out is the location of the leased facility would be where the softball, at the south end of the softball courts to Columbus Road at the Bedford High School former student parking lot, and there's a practice soccer field there. So in looking at properties that they were proposing, that one was a great fit because we have 5 tennis courts that are there that are in desperate need of repair or demolition. Both would be very costly. So if this and use that area of property, we wouldn't have that cost to demolish those tennis courts or restore that area.
James, could you talk about scholarships, please?
Yeah, one of the things that they have wanted to bring to the table and that they're currently doing is that they are providing scholarships for students through these nonprofit organizations, scholarships for students in the area to come in and have in higher education.
Okay. Any more questions? Any more discussion? I would like to just remind the community that this is a non-binding letter of intent. Nothing has been signed by the Board of Education, and this is non-binding. That means that we are not locked into anything. Could I have a motion, please?
Mrs. Boynton, we actually don't have to vote on this one.
We don't have to vote on this one.
But if we have consensus that we would just like to enter into that, you could sign that agreement without having a board vote, because it is non-binding.
Okay. So are we done with it?
We are, if to me, to Mr. Meyer, to proceed with this.
I'm sorry? You can speak louder. One more discussion. Okay, you can. Are you in favor of this?
Yes.
Yes.
It's just for discussion. All right. We can move forward. I want to move forward. We can move forward with it.
Thank you, Board.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Treasurer's recommendation, 9.01. Bill?
Thank you, Mrs. Boynton, members of the board. For tonight, for your consideration and review is the tax budget for 2023. This is a document for the county fiscal office where I report to the county fiscal office estimated tax receipts, estimated other resources of revenue, and estimated budgets. This is an annual requirement, an annual calendar year basis requirement for the school board, where I'd have to file this document on or before the 14th, and then also make sure it goes to the Budget Commission on or before the 20th of this month. That's all.
Could I have a motion to approve to adopt the Bedford City School District 2022 tax budget?
2022 budget, tax budget.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Macklin,
Yes.
Mr. Akins,
Yes.
Mrs. Birch,
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton.
Yes. Motion approved 4-0. Next item is item number 10, Superintendent's Report.
Thank you, Mrs. Boynton. First off, I'd like to say, board, you did fairly well for your first time out, Mrs. Boynton. We'll move along, and so you did very well first time out. I have a few things, if I may just, first off, I'd like to thank our administrative team. You know, they're pulling that where they're sitting in the back, but they are here and came to support all of you this evening, and so I appreciate it. I see you guys are separated due to distancing, I'm sure. So thank you for being here. We say to Rep. Brent, she's been great to work with, and I already gave her a hard time when I saw her this evening, but she hit the ground running, and she is involved. And within 2 weeks, I already had a phone call from her and wanted to meet, and we met at Bedford Falls Cafe and had a great conversation, and have had great conversations since, and just appreciate her presence. She works relentlessly and really tirelessly for all of us, and so Rep. Brent, totally going to miss you. And wish. Thanks for being here. A couple other things I wanted to mention. We've had a lot going on, as we all are aware, in the district. I did, board just visit this week Heskett and the high school. In your weekly report, I will be providing you with some pictures of the work that's been done, and so the high school is looking beautiful. The hallways are painted. Striping is really tedious task, but it's looking great. I've talked with the painters. They're not so thrilled about having to do it. It's very tedious, but it looks great. The entrance, everything. I met with a gentleman. I've had this planned for a while now, but they had a change in our representative. So finally, we did get out there, and we have some great ideas of. And you'll see it. I'll provide you with the pictures, but it's going to look really beautiful. And new signage in terms of directions too. We're going to work on that. Those signs have been up there probably since the building's been it has been built. So we're looking to do that. I also went to Heskett, and as many of you are aware, some of you not, if you're new here sitting this evening, but we will be moving to metal detectors in Heskett Middle School. We've put that out to our parents, and we had an open house in which people could come. We did have a few parents choose to come, and it's always a difficult decision, but it's a necessary one, unfortunately, in this day and age, and what's happening around us. It's not unique to Bedford, but we want to keep our students' decision to move. I did visit it. We will get our students through efficiently through the process, so we will be starting that on Monday. So I will be there first thing in the morning to watch that process as well. I do want to talk about, before I end with COVID, because what else could we talk about? Deprive you of a conversation about COVID, because I know you don't see enough of it every time you turn on the news. But I do want to mention some of the changes that you voted on this evening. We have, I believe they're all still here. I wanted to point out some of the interim administrative changes that will be taking place due to one of our principals that is out, and that is Mrs. Sterlikar. So in her absence, we are going to be moving Mr. Thompson, who's currently our high school principal, and I know you were over there. Mr. Thompson, are you still there? Antoine is blocked. I can't see. Okay. So Mr. Thompson will be moving over and is very excited to do so. He is a former middle school principal, so he's looking forward to helping us out and always a team player. So much appreciated his team spirit. Next we have Mrs. Kalisha Lewis. Miss Kalisha Lewis, are you here? There she is. She too is tall, so we can see her just quite. Thank you, Miss Lewis. She will be assuming the role of interim principal. There we go. Yeah, okay. I think that was Mom that started that cheering. Is that Mom back there? Hi, Mom. I thought so. Well, you should be proud. So she is an alum and has been here for 4 years as an assistant principal, so knows the systems, routines, and we have great confidence in her to lead us over there at the high school. We've made a number happening over there, and she's excited to carry that momentum. So thank you. And lastly, I wanted to introduce Claire Gowing. So Claire is here this evening. Claire is currently our curriculum specialist at the high school currently. So she has made quite an impression over there, visiting classrooms, getting to know students as well. So the transition for her, we are going to put her in Mrs. Lewis's current position of assistant principal. So she will assume those duties and has some previous experience in Cleveland schools doing similar roles. So we are excited to have her. So welcome, Claire. Thank you. All right, and lastly, we will update you on our COVID approach here. And so we made the difficult decision to extend our remote learning, to transition to remote learning for a week. That week is coming to a close tomorrow, thankfully. However, we know that the numbers relative to COVID are not really working in our favor. I think this pandemic is here for a while, and the surge is real, and it is impacting what we do. However, with that said, I put a message out to parents today that we will be returning on Monday. Again, we need our students back in school. We need to see them in front of our teachers. We need to see them. I know our teachers want to see them. Learning online, I watch it myself. It is difficult, especially not necessarily the healthiest choice either. You know, we have a lot of needs for our students, not just academically, but socially, emotionally. They need that support. They need to be around people who love and care for them in school as well. I know they have people who love and care for them at home as well, but I know as a parent, I am ready as well for them to go back after break. And so after this remote stint, we will be excited to be back in action on Monday. But we are going to, we met as an administrative team, and we have a number of things that we are going to make sure that we emphasize, and one being the safety and safety measures relative to the PPEs and the like. Now, certainly we've been taking measures to ensure safety, but if we're being frank, I think when summer hit, many of us got lax, and we saw these sort of disappear in the public. And the sanitizing and such, maybe we became a little bit more careless, and we just simply cannot afford to do that. So we had a heart-to-heart conversation with our administrative team, who will also be speaking to the staff about ensuring safety measures. The one thing that I'm going to ask for those of you who are parents or those of you who are listening is we have got to wear these. Our students have got to come to school with the masks on over their noses and over their mouths, not like this. And I say that because I visit schools regularly, and it's a nightmare for especially our secondary teachers. And look, I know they don't like it. I don't know that anyone in this room enjoys wearing a mask, but it is necessary. So I'm asking for parent support. If students are not masked, I have asked the principals to call home, and we will have to look at other options if it's a student that just refuses to do it. We've got to be mindful of others around us and ensure their safety. So we did talk about the cleaning, and has been gracious enough to approve more custodians and also other transportation department, we have bus drivers that come over during the day and also help keep our buildings clean, especially our high traffic areas and high touch points. So we are making sure that we are doing that. And I already saw, and I want to commend, I think Ms. Three signs swapped out that say that masks are mandatory when we come into the buildings. So that was a recommendation when we moved to the vaccination, but we've changed that. And so I just want to reiterate that we will be making sure that we're doing the best. Spacing is difficult. I'm not going to try to tell you that it's not. It is in these small classrooms, that we will have some challenges with social distancing as we have, and we haven't really ever said that we're going to have students 6 feet apart since we've returned. But we do have desk shields that are in place. We do have the masking. We are doing our best to keep students from sharing materials, and that can be difficult too. But want to assure parents that we're doing everything we can to keep our students safe. And if you have questions or concerns, you can always call your child's principal. You can call me. I've talked to some parents already and walked them through some things, and just wanted you to know that piece, as well as the CDC. I'm sure you have seen, has changed the requirements in the middle of a surge. We've changed our isolation and quarantining days. They've been reduced, and so therefore, but there are some protocols in place. You should have seen that if you have not checked your email, and I don't expect you to. It came out at 4 o'clock today, but those guidelines from the CDC are in your email that we will be following. The staff in schools, but we're hopeful that this will keep us in schools, but also that hopefully that safety is not compromised in doing so. But we believe that if the CDC has recommended it, I have no more knowledge than they do, so we're going to trust that they have done the research and collected the data and have made a recommendation in good faith. So we will be doing that. That's been spelled out for you. Just want to let you know we're excited to have the kids back. It's a challenge. I really struggle with these decisions. These are not easy. I want our children in school, and I have lots of varying opinions that people share, and I can appreciate that. And I thank parents for sharing, but at the end of the day, we have to do what we think are the best decisions, and that's where we're at right now. And that we have a plan in place. We are going to do our best to staff our buildings. That's the other caveat that we don't know. We had 136 the last time I looked, cases of students that reported having COVID over break. Just over break. So that was a pretty big number, but we're going to do our best that staff is back and ready to go. But if you recall, before break, we had instances in which we had to close a classroom or two and sometimes a school because we simply couldn't staff it. And believe me, if we can staff it, we will be in, but we have to be safe in doing so. So thank you. And if you have any questions, I'd be glad to entertain them.
Any questions for Dr. Selico?
What are the current numbers now? Are you aware of active cases? Yes, we have the dashboard, which we admit in our letter to parents that it's not updated yet, and the reason being is we just are playing catch up over break. So we have those numbers, but actively, I don't even want to try to quote it, but I can get that for you. We
But
have
safe
it.
enough for us to get back in on Monday?
I'm sorry?
Safe enough for us to get back in
Yes.
on Monday for staffing?
Yeah, a lot of the cases that I saw were at the front end of break, so people are at the end of their quarantining, but there certainly will be some students and staff that will still be out. But it's not a large number. We have a Google Doc that we keep track of. So when parents filled out their form, it gets entered and we see all information.
Okay, any more questions? Discussion? Thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Mrs. Boynton.
Selico. Thank you, Dr. Selico and Dr. Johnston, and for your team for coming up with a plan and keeping our community and our families aware of all community. And I also would like to thank the administrative team that's stepping up and continuing with the consistency in with our academics and the educational process. So thank you for We support you in all the things that are going to be happening in the next few weeks. We're also looking forward to our students returning. I'm so happy to see that happening. It's a very, some decisions are being made that, as Dr. Selico said, that some people may not be happy with, but we're doing the best that we can. We work, and we need your support too in making this work. So I would like to say thank you to the teachers, to the staff, and to the community, and for the families for accepting the decisions that we're making in bringing our children back to school. We really do appreciate it, and we just thank you for your support. It's a difficult time, and I'm an educator, and I go every day. And I'm faced with 22 children in my classroom every day, and it's very, very difficult for the children, for the families, for the teachers, for the staff, for everyone. So we're just doing the best that we can to make this work, because everyone knows children should be in person in school, teachers should be in person in school instructing our children. So thank you, teachers, staff, community, family, everyone, for all your support. I would also like to say thank you for allowing us to be your new board. So at this time, I want to take a few minutes to allow the incoming board members to please address the audience, if you like.
I am just pleased and grateful, and thank you. I look forward in serving the community, our students, leadership, humbly and with confidence. On a day such as today, of January 6th, a year of what took place last year, this is very momentous for someone to look like me, to sit up, honor, and in reflection, so that we are serving our community and hold democracy.
I would like to first just thank you for your patience. Thank you for your trust in allowing me to come. A graduate of this school district, so I just where I know we can be, and I just want to do whatever I can to support that. I want you to know that I plan. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. I want to have be very accessible to anyone that has any questions about what's going on that I can provide an answer to if possible. And I just hope to be able to serve you, our residents, as well as serve our children, because we need to make sure that they can represent.
Thank you. Ms. Macklin?
I would like to say I'm happy to be here. I'm a sixth generation of Bedford City Schools. My family's been in Bedford City Schools since 1932. So it makes me feel good and proud to be on this, and I know my dad's probably looking down, smiling. Anything to do with Bedford, it makes him happy. And I would like to say that I'm here for my goal is to be here for the kids. So, I mean, a lot of people know me, and I've helped a lot of people through this. I've been asked to go on the board since I retired in 2013, and I refused because I was into other stuff. But I would just like to say I'm here for you. I'm here for the students. If you ever need me, you know how to reach me. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to say thank you to one other group I need to thank. This was a very long meeting, first meeting for a lot of us in these positions, so, just be patient with us. I would like to thank the technology department. This went off without a hitch, so thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And thank everyone for coming out, supporting us, but at this time, can I have a motion, please? You need to read the statement.
I make a motion that we go into executive session.
Second.
To consider.
To consider. What do we consider?
Could you read that? It's that statement. Thank you.
I know I ain't into this. Where are my glasses?
It's okay.
I make a motion, we go into executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, compensation of a public employee.
It has been moved by Ms. Macklin and second by Ms. Birch. Any discussion? No? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Macklin?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch? Yes. Mr. Akins?
Yes.
Mrs. Boynton?
Yes. It has been approved 4-0. Now we will be going into executive session at 7:42. 7:42. Thank you so much.